Have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, Steve. Hey, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody, to staff meeting this wonderful June morning, and we will not talk about the weather in any case in Arizona. It's against the rules.
It's hotter than hell down there.
Yeah, I know. Steve was just down here last week, and it's gotten hotter, Steve, actually, since you were here. So if that's possible. Anyway, should say CEO message. Actually, I've given you the screen, Steve, because I know that you wanted to share some stuff with us, and people are anxious to see it. So let's go ahead and get started and do that first thing.
Yeah, I still need the screen.
I've given you the screen. You need to say yes, you'll take it. There we go. I've done it again.
So we've been looking at gamifying campaigns and challenges, gamifying the health risk appraisal and the registration process, along with other, different activities, like maybe adding a My Tracker. And so these games are coming along pretty well. We've kind of incorporated badges. Let me show you some of the different challenge. We're calling them mini campaigns. These are the design pieces that are being built out and kind of improved right now. But this is one that I think used to be called Veggie Up, where we call it Eat Your Vegetables. But essentially, every time somebody comes in here and they click on the number of vegetables that they've consumed, and when they go to click right here, they actually have a drop-down box where they click the number of vegetables that they've consumed that day. That number goes in the box, and those vegetables kind of fall into the bowl. When they do at least 3 a day, they earn one of the badges. And the badges will be placed on here. They'll be able to see them. They'll be grayed out until they've earned it. So this is just a kind of a rough design. There's also a leaderboard for anybody they want to invite to do this pure challenge. They can have people see who's leading and who's doing what. This leaderboard may show up if there's somebody that they're doing it with, and it can be invisible if they're doing it by themselves. So each one of these has a leaderboard. Everything else. Here's the one that's called for daily 30, getting 30 minutes of exercise. For each day that they do 30 minutes to enter data, part of this cityscape actually lights up. So there's actually 14 sections in here that light up. And when the entire cityscape lights up, they earn the daily 30 badge. Here's also the number of minutes leaderboard that's along the way. There'll be some animation. You'll see some of these people moving and the cityscape kind of lighting up just to show progress. I'd like to get the whole thing lit up and like to earn that badge. The other one is the Sweet Dreams campaign. They put in the hours of good quality sleep that they've had each night, and these sheep kind of jump over as they enter the hours. They kind of gather in a pen over here, and once they've reached the goal of 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night for 14 days, the badge, which will be on here, will show up and light up, and they'll have earned that badge. That badge will go into their badge page. They can see all the badges they've earned. So just a way to kind of liven them up and have some fun with these. They can see them. Here's the one that's being designed right now. Maintain, don't gain. Here's these 7 behaviors that we'd like people to do. Today, I ate a healthy breakfast, didn't eat after 7, ate 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables. That equals 3. That number 3 goes in for that first day. And this person advances from start to the very first stage. So for every day, they move one step closer to earning the Maintain, Don't Gain badge at the very end. It can be just one behavior a day or more behaviors a day, but we can count up the behaviors and those show up on the leaderboard. so you can have other people participate with you and see who's doing the most. So just kind of real simple ways of encouraging, motivating people to do something healthy every day with these really simple campaign or challenges. And right now we're planning on doing 10 of these. So we're on number 4 now. We've hired a new designer, and this is Becca and we've got Allie and Amanda and Sally and Rachel working on badges. Amanda and Jenny, Becca and Jenny and I have kind of been going back and forth. I'm missing someone with these challenges. But we have hired a new designer. A new programmer. He's going to build out the HTML, and he's also going to charge us for the animation that's going to be part of this. These will all be done. We'll give them to Brian. Brian will be able to plug them in really easily. So we'll be able to cut our design time pretty dramatically. Any kind of questions about these? They're kind of in draft mode, but it's kind of where we're going with them.
I think these are great. So just to be clear, there's campaigns, there's mini campaigns, which used to be 2-week challenges, and then these are what you're showing are peer or individual challenges. Is that correct?
These are mini campaigns, Troy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm using the wrong terminology still. Go ahead.
I think previously we did talk about calling these the actual peer and individual challenges. And then what used to be our 2-week challenges would be our mini campaigns, since they would show up with the campaign on the campaign page in the program center.
So
in the ops team, at least, has been talking about challenges being these things here, these peer and individual challenges.
The fancy, sexy, those are challenges.
Yeah, and these are 14 days long, so there's some confusion there because these are 2 weeks also.
Right.
So we'll have to, we can work on the nomenclature later, how we want to keep them squared away. But in essence, there's an awful lot of 2-week challenges for which we can gamify. I think there's like 35 or 50 of them. And these are the first 10, the most common ones that we were able to pull out. So what's not on here is the badges. You'll see the badges. They'll be working towards the badges. Actually, there's a badge on this one. But once they earn that badge will fly up and go into their badge section, and they'll see all their badges. And I did want to take a minute and show you the latest iteration as of this morning on what these badges look like. Spoonful of sugar, sugar-free, attitude of gratitude. And we're on the 4th iteration on these. So I know these are not final, but I'm surprised the guys in India knew what a burpee was. They did a good job of it. Kind of keeping a common theme. There's still a few in here that need some work. This is Amanda and Sally and Rachel and Allie really revising and editing, working on getting these done the way we want. But there's a lot of them. And all of them a little bit different. They have a basic shape. It's somewhat similar, but floss like a boss. Fruit it up, looks good. Get the red out. I'm letting the team decide on these, whether I like them or not. I'm just stepping back. So all in all, the quality is really good. And good grainy, good night, good to the bone. I kind of like that one. It's got a barbell there. You probably can't see what that is. Grocery guide's a little different. I like the layout. Healthy lunch, nice salad, healthy weight for life. Know your numbers, kind of like that one. They've done the guy's pretty creative. This is one that obviously needs some work. I'm not even sure what this one was for. Lunges, maintain, don't gain November. This one looks good. Maintain, don't gain December. And here's the maintain, don't gain for the regular one that we can offer anytime. Master Chef, move it coast to coast. I think this one looks good. No phone zone, overcome overeating, park and walk. I can see Brian working on all of his badges as we speak. Push up, random acts of kindness. I like that one. That's very creative. Restaurant rehab, self-care or healthcare. Done a nice job there. Shop and eat healthy. There's a lot of creativity in these. Sit up, snack down, squat, step it up, stop the buzz. That's a nice one. Veg out, veggie up. So there's a lot. That's the end of it. We've probably got about 24 more to go for little things that the team came up with a list of badges for other smaller things we may not ever need. But we've got this guy doing them right now. We're just going to get them all done and have them. If we need them, we've got them. We can just pull them off the shelf and plug them in. So guy works fast. We send him revisions at 8 o'clock in the morning. By the next day, we have his complete change. He's been extremely responsive, extreme 24-hour turnaround time, pretty much every time, no matter how much work we give him. And that's it.
Very cool. Any questions? It's awesome. People are so overwhelmed, they don't know what questions to ask, Steve.
Well, it's a work in progress, but we are making progress. They're looking pretty good. And there's other pieces here within the campaigns. There'll be a progress bar where there'll be a progress bar on all of these. So you can see progress from week to week to week, working towards a badge or working towards points. We can turn them on, turn them off. We can not do badges for anybody. We can do badges for everybody. We'll be able to toggle all of these as much as we need them.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Steve, for sharing all that. I know that we can come back to that and we can ask more questions later. I've given the screen to Jenny. Jenny, go ahead and take the screen. I'm not really sure why. I see it looks like a part of a car door. Rest of you seeing that up on? No? Okay, there we go. On Steve's desktop.
Okay.
There we go.
Alrighty.
Jenny, you want me to show these on my screen?
No, that's okay. I've got a couple different places I'm going to go and look, so I can just refer back to these notes. They're not nearly as pretty as Steve's badges and as colorful and flashy, but it's good updates for everybody. So the first one I'm really excited to talk about, and that is rewards automation. Now that sounds a little bit ambiguous, but what that means is we will have the option to set rewards activities as auto-complete. Now that is very different than auto-verify, but it is auto-complete. And what that means, I can come in here and say, I completed my PHA. Let's see. And then I can do all the other options, set my points and things. And then I have this new function called autocomplete where I can tie it to something that the system already can track. So this prevents the user from ever having to check the activity off because it's going to do it for them. This prevents the guide or the coordinator or the rewards admin from ever having to verify this. So this is just an enormous enhancement. I know there's a lot of people who are really excited about this, especially those that have rewards only accounts because it's going to cut down on their amount of work. So this works fairly similar to Wellness Plan, as you can see, where you select what piece it's going to check before it will auto-complete that item. And then as soon as the user goes and clicks on their rewards button here, the system's going to run a cron job, and it's going to check all of those that have been set to auto-complete. So this is done in real time. They can take the PHA, come right in here and click rewards, and they're going to see it checked off. So this is just an awesome feature. And it's also going to do the cron job overnight as well. So if anybody, let's say their biometrics were uploaded, it's going to show that the very next day. So this is just a huge thing. This is great for IT to get done. The guides have all been trained on this, so we should be good to go there. But sales, I definitely wanted to make sure you guys knew this because from the sales perspective, having this automation is really nice because it takes work off from the on-site coordinators or rewards admin, and it gives people even more real-time results than we already have. So any questions from sales or anybody on that one?
We want to make sure that we follow up with Ed and let him know that if he doesn't already, because I think he's at a family reunion. Kendall, I've muted you, by the way. You can message me if you want to be unmuted, but that's awesome, Jenny.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be sure to circle up with Ed. Okay, and this next one, this is a biggie, guys, like huge. So Paul has been working so very hard to get Google Fit and Apple Health for us. I am extremely appreciative of all his work. I've had a lot of questions. There's been a lot of back and forth, and he's just been a champion through it all. So I am thrilled to announce that we currently have Google Fit available as a syncable device for my tracker. And the end of this week, when we do our update on Friday or Saturday, we will have Apple Health, which is enormous. That's been a really, really high request that we've gotten from a lot of the accounts. So Google Fit's current, Apple Health by the end of the week, and then you will also see Apple Health on the app Tuesday or Wednesday of next week because it has to be approved by Apple and all that stuff. So hold your cheers, hold your applause, just celebrate internally because this is a really big one. And then the last piece that I have today that's kind of a significant item is we have a brand new campaign that's ready. It's called Resilient You, and this one is a little bit different. This was based on some resources that we were given by one of Troy's associates, Dr. Mary Steinhardt, at the University of Texas. So she provided this information to us. There were probably 4 hours of videos in addition to all of the content that we had. Rachel and Isabel put together a great program outline for this campaign, and they built videos, and we had a lot of hands helping on this, a lot of people working on the videos and creating the resources and coming up with questions, emails. So this was certainly a team effort campaign. This one is all about how to approach and overcome situations that can be stressful, situations that can cause stumbling blocks for people, and how to overcome those healthier and happier on the other side as you are resilient. So I wanted to let everybody know we are going to be doing this as a campaign for our next WellSteps program in 2019. We already have made the selections for this year. So we'll have this one for next year, but you are welcome to schedule this in a test company. You can schedule it in a demo company. Everything is done on this, what to expect webinars, campaign descriptions, all of this is available. So sales team, if you guys have people looking for more of that emotional, mental health kind of area, this is a great one for that. So I wanted to share that with you, and then also let you know we do have access still to all of the information that Dr. Steinhardt provided. If we see a lot of great success with this and there's a need to build a even more Resilient You campaign, then we can certainly do that down the road. So market this, we'll get it out there. I think it's going to be a great campaign for our clients. And then the last little tidbit of information is, if you do not know yet, Lindsay had her baby last week. She's an adorable baby girl. I don't know that she has announced the name yet, but well wishes to Lindsay. I hope she's getting lots of great baby snuggles right now, and we will see her in a few weeks when she is back. So are there any questions for me from sales or ops before we do our wheel?
Hey, I'm just glad that I've been selected, so hallelujah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do this and see who's on the hot seat. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Kelsey Cole. Let's see. All right, Kelsey, you know the drill. A couple things that people may not know about you, little known Kelsey facts.
Oh man, it's hard to think of them on the spot. Let's see. I won a hula hoop contest for hula hooping the longest, and my record was 2.5 hours in elementary school.
Oh my gosh.
What the heck?
Don't know if I could still do it, but at one point I won. Let's see.
That's a good start. I'll give you that.
And then when I did my study abroad in college, and we did like a week in Egypt, and when we did our like tour of the pyramids, when the tour guide had left, me and some friends lay down in one of the sarcophagi inside the pyramid tomb that we went into.
Oh my gosh. Are there pictures of said event?
No, because it was definitely against the rules. Silly college days.
And your hair hasn't all fallen out, or you haven't died prematurely, or you're
no, it didn't get
that's
cursed.
good.
Thank goodness.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's great. Well, that's good. I mean, I've learned in the last 2 staff meetings that we have that Emily was able to do 90 push-ups at one point in her life, and I learned that Kelsey Cole can hula hoop for 2.5 hours. My gosh, what a talented group we have. That's funny. That's funny. Well, that's very cool. We did not have much for you today in staff meeting. We do have a leadership correlation meeting, though, Steve. We got a few things to discuss. So if you could, Steve could stick around, and I think we invited Brian to show up with us as well. But the rest of you are free to go. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sorry, I'm going to send a text to Brian real quick. I don't see him here. Are you here, Brian?
I sent him an email about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
But another text won't hurt. You know, in the meantime, one thing you could do is pull up the let me see.
Priority list.
Yeah, I've got, let me see, on the open recent staff meeting. Yeah, review of priority project list. Yeah, this shouldn't take horribly long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we would want Brian to be here, though.
Yeah. I will let you know if I get anything back from him.
Okay, I sent him another email. Call the person and say. Well, I think let's just go ahead and get started, and if he shows up, he shows up. Because he may be
Okay.
out to lunch, or even though I sent the reminder out, he may have forgotten or something.
Okay.
So let's the first thing you thought was important, because you talked to Brian about this, and we want to make sure we keep this squared away, is a review of priority project lists, and then you had sub items, updates to plus plan, and where do badges fit on the priority list?
Yes. So when it's helpful for me to have the priority list and know exactly what's coming up on the radar, especially as I'm adding in smaller enhancement things, just things from suggestion box and from clients and things. So for me, one of the questions I had is where do badges fit within our current priority list? I know they go semi with these peer and individual challenges, so in my mind that seems like a fairly logical place to put it, but I wasn't sure if you guys had a different opinion or if we're okay to just go ahead and put peer challenges, individual challenges, and then with badges.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Steve, do you have any strong feelings?
Well, we're not ready to go with anything yet. I know that. I think once all the badges are done and in the can, and we get some really good complete code for one or two of the challenges, and we also get some progress bars done that we like, that we can plug into the campaign pages. You know, we really flesh this thing out the whole way. At that point in time, we need to get it on the ticket somewhere. I'm not sure where that's going to be, but I know there's nothing to code at this point anyway. So
the progress bars, those seem like they maybe go more down here with this campaign redesign, because the badges, you know, I made this note, a couple weeks ago now, but I do think that since the badges are going to go more in line with the peer and individual challenges, and they're going to be happening first, that makes sense to have that together. But I do think we could wait on the progress bars until we do the campaign redesign.
Well, let's talk about campaign redesign, because other than layout, adding progress bars, and working people towards badges, I'm not sure what else we're going to do on that.
Yeah,
I'm in my mind, adding the badges and the progress bar is a big part of the campaign redesign.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there was some talk about getting a new team room, updating the look of the team room. That was a change that the committee really wanted to see happen.
So Allie's design team is already looking at some of those items, looking at how we can improve the graph. Now, you're right. We did talk about having the team room update and rewrite. That was going to include the social piece so that they could, they can talk back and forth to each other as more of a message board just internally within their team. And there was one other piece that I think we were going to add there as well.
I know they're well into that process. They've got a lot they've done. I haven't done it, but they tell me they've made a lot of progress there.
Yeah.
This goes back to conversation to you and I had, Steve, where remember I lied to you because I was under a misinterpretation. I actually think that the leaderboard was the primary change to campaigns. I think everybody's waiting around, and that's an insight that I didn't have when we talked before. So I think it's okay to assert some leadership in this case and say this is what we ought to do. And along the lines with the badges and this and that and the other thing, we ought to make sure we also do these things. So maybe that's something you and I talk about that, again, if need to be.
Sure. I don't know what those things are. When I spent all my time looking at gamification and trying to apply these gamification concepts onto campaigns, what came up out of that was literally being able to document progress towards badges and points. So there's physical movement that they can see towards a goal. And then the desire and motivation that's created by the badges, and not particularly changing content. Videos, the questions, maybe things can be shortened a little bit with some of those modifications. But outside of that, I don't have any other ideas on the redesign.
I'm with you there. So, and that's why I think that the design committee decided to focus on leaderboard in the campaign.
Yes, I agree with that. I think it's a great place for them to do some creative things and in the team room.
So I really don't think, just to echo what Steve just said, I don't really think that anything that would go along with the campaign redesign process that we don't already have on this list, unless somebody comes up with some sweeping revelation. I think this is what we got is what we got.
So we had talked, let me pull it up, Brennan Hansen. We had talked about kind of going off your comment, Steve, not changing the content, leaving the content because it's already built and it's good, but just changing how it is displayed. And this I think goes way back to Kenneth, where we go with more of this concept where we're taking the tasks that we currently have, that we already have, and just hiding them behind different icons. And then she already included a progress bar here, so that takes care of that. And then all of the updates that we're planning for the team room would of course continue to go in the team room. So I think this is a good way to go, not changing content, but giving it a facelift, so that it's not just a list of tasks and a list of questions below.
I'm okay as long as it's incredibly intuitive and looks really cool. Because the list that we have right now is ugly, but extremely intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a balance there. I do know that the way we have it structured now, it's like here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's pretty idiot proofed. Here's the things you have to do. And people follow that very carefully. Whatever you guys want to come up with that content kind of redesign, they have to be able to look at those icons and know exactly what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
And sorry, this is Brian, sorry to hop on. It's more than just hiding existing content behind icons too. So we'll need to talk through that a little bit.
What do you mean?
Well, so in one campaign, we don't have, for example, that picture showed me, if you go back to that picture, it shows Quizios is behind one, Daily Tracker is behind another one, and Matching Drinks with Sugar is behind another one. We don't have Matching Drinks with Sugar, period. We do have Quizios, but they're a different campaign type and not a campaign question. So right now, when you go to weekly tasks, like Steve said, there's a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Or maybe there's 2 questions and a tracker. So, I mean, theoretically, I guess we could hide the question